Facts.
No, I don't know about that.
Yes, she should.
Yeah, she recruited people. She recruited people.
Like
definitely in on it.
You have
Cassie
to admit,
recruited
she's nice.
people.
Okay.
Cassie used to recruit the guys.
No, I'm
Who's
talking about the
Ghislaine
artist.
Maxwell?
Yeah, I'm talking about the artist. Cassie was definitely in on it.
No,
Cassie was
listen.
in on it.
We're
She
absolving
knew what it
everybody of
was, but
responsibility.
everybody
It
else.
was only Diddy, and it's his fault. And that's
No,
it.
I'm not. I don't think we're saying that.
No, I don't think we're
What
saying that.
They were
We're
young.
not
They were
saying that.
young.
If you
Oh,
are
wow.
in charge, you have to take the greater responsibility, right? You have a nurse and you have a doctor. The nurse assists the doctor, but it's the doctor that signs the paperwork. So if malpractices come, they don't go after the nurse, they go after the doctor and they sue the
But
doctor.
here's the thing, though. Here's the thing that you're missing. This is the thing that you're missing out of all of this. Diddy won.
What did he
He
win?
definitely won.
What
Because it
did he
wasn't
win?
true.
Y'all think he's gonna come out here and be
The fucking federal, let me tell you something. The
That man
federal
didn't win
government came against him and they tried to pin him
The government.
and they didn't and they lost.
But guess what?
He beat
They
most of the
lost
big
here,
charges.
but there's also a court in the court of heaven that God is he's watching.
Yeah. We don't
So
want to
you
hear
guys
that.
think
We
he's
don't
going
want to
now?
hear
You
that.
guys
We don't
think he's
want to
going
hear
to
that.
Come on now.
Heaven
and
and
be on
heaven
top?
and
That man ain't about
heaven.
to ever be a
We're not talking about heaven
No,
and
I'm
hell right
just
now.
saying.
We
You still
talking
gotta
about
read what you say.
right here on this earth with
He
all
ain't
of
about to be on top
all
when
of
he
these
gets out.
fake
He
women
actually
that's
made
acting like they didn't sign up for it. Listen,
Yeah.
even the jury, if you look at the last video, the last one, the jury was like, man, these
Yep.
people was not believable. These
Nope.
people was lying, they was
Yep.
capping, they wasn't believable. So just because the court of public opinion says something doesn't necessarily mean that
Oh,
it
y'all.
reflects what the truth is.
Oh, so
How-
you don't think the
the only-
justice
the
system
only reason
is
that
crooked
all
and
of-
corrupt?
The only reason, listen, the only reason that Diddy is even in this position in the first place is because people didn't get their money. That's
Yep.
the only reason that we having this conversation.
That's
I guess there ain't
The
no
only
fun
reason that
rabbit
we
out
have
there,
person
huh?
prosecuted. It's the only reason why Cassie came out. It's the only reason why Aubrey O'Day is here because she got fired. It's the only reason why the assistant showed up. It's the only reason that Mark Curry bitch ass is on the documentary with his old ass complaining is because they felt like they was worth more than what they really
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
They not taking
Mark
responsibility.
Curry was a trash
And he
actor.
wanted-
But you know what?
He
It's
was-
that type of mentality that we still allow
And he wanted
people
to
to
get them
get
tapes
bent
out of
over
Diddy house.
and robbed and messed up because we have a
Who got
mentality is like, well, if
Why
you
they
don't
been-
hold yourself,
The
if you don't
producers
do it
were
for
on the
yourself,
documentary too. Like producers who have worked with him for years also came out and be
No,
like, "Hey,
Stevie J is one of
J
the
never
original.
said-
Stevie J is one of the original hitmen that was with Diddy
right?
all of the
Mhm.
hits, and he has never said nothing about Diddy. He has
But
always
why
said
not?
and said that Diddy was one of the biggest people that he's still rocking with.
Because Stevie J's scared. That's why.
Oh,
Well,
you know him? You know him? You talk to him?
I'm just
How
saying,
does
if you ain't
everybody
if you
have
ain't
been?
coming
You
out
talk
against
to him.
somebody, but look at where he's at. Look at his state. If he was supposed to be his hitman,
I'm asking this.
no, he said, do you know him? He said, do you know him?
nothing
Because
now.
I'm trying to understand if you got some information that I don't have.
No, it ain't about. I'm just saying he's scared. That's
Oh, he
what
was
a lot of
scared.
these-
Scared.
How you know that though? How you know that though?
watch patterns and trends to recognize and come up with a solution or come up with a opinion about something. All these people, just like I think that's.
No, I'm able to look at things objectively and call a spade a spade.
I think she
I
said
think
it
that
earlier.
Diddy is
They're
a
not going
bad
to say
person.
nothing because they don't want to mess up
I'm
their
able to
money.
look at it objectively and call a spade a spade.
It is objective.
I
I
mean, even
think
Mary
that
J.
Diddy is
Blige hasn't said
He's
anything.
full of demons.
Listen.
So for the same amount, that's what I'm saying. Nobody has a good thing to say about Diddy. What about Mary J. Blige? All of this artists said,
about it?
yeah,
And check
all
this
of
out.
Listen. Like I
signed
said,
a deal.
I'm able
never
to
said
be- I'm
anything.
able to be-
So what
112
about
has
the
never
same
said
artists who
anything.
signed the same deal and
If
nobody
everybody
said
talking
good
at the
things
same
about
time,
it?
nobody can hear anybody.
Like y'all.
I'm able to be objective and call a spade a spade. I think that if Diddy would have took care of his people and spent some money, all of these people would have went away, and none of these people would be complaining. I think that Cassie is a piece of shit.
Me too.
I think that Diddy is selectively a good businessman when it benefits him, but at the same time, people need to take responsibility for associating themselves. I think that Diddy is a bad person when it came to letting fame get to him and then turning over into the monster as far as letting the industry control him and feeling like he had a God complex.
And drugs.
But at the same time, I'm also objective enough to know that he was not convicted, nor was he culpable or was he responsible for a lot of the shit that y'all accusing him of? Because a lot of people get accused of shit that they not necessarily. It's
I
people
think
in
he's
jail.
a part
There's
of
people in
something,
jail.
Antoine.
There's people in jail right now that is getting released off the Innocence Project from being accused of shit. And if you want to convict him for domestic violence or for being a cuck, then that's one thing. But you can't say anything just based off of an accusation. An accusation doesn't make it true. And everybody that did business and associated himself with them, they need to take responsibility for what they signed up for and what they participated
Absolutely.
in.
Because if Cassie, wait a second. If Cassie's is getting so-called abused by him, she has a responsibility to get away from him. She obviously had a loving family behind her. She wasn't,
and there's a responsibility if you're on drugs to make a choice to get off the drugs.
That he did create. Wait a minute, Patrice. Can we point out that it was alleged? I'm not disagreeing with that.
Don't say she was on drugs. Say she was taking drugs. Don't say she was on drugs.
This is a person who had a homemade bomb sent to Kid Cudi to blow him up. I'm telling you now, if you told me that you can blow a bitch up, I'm sucking that dick till I die because don't nobody want to get blown up.
Oh my gosh.
So the young lady, his assistant, well, she's not young no more. That's why she's bitter. The girl that said she got kidnapped in the park. No.
I called B.O. on that immediately. I called B.O. on that immediately. She never said. She said I was kidnapped, and then she just went on to the next point. At no point did she say how she was kidnapped.
She said I was threatened. She said he threatened to kill me.
No, she threatened to kill. That was when she first started working with Diddy because he found out that she has a connection to Suge or something like that. That's what that was about. But she said she was kidnapped with the whole Kid Cudi thing and Cassie. But that whole thing was nonsense. I heard that in real time. It's like, you say you got kidnapped. How?
When they took her to the park to talk to her. They took her to the park
the fact that these people, I'm not trying to say they were victims. I'm not trying to say that they weren't accountable for their actions of being part of that business. What I'm trying to say is, as a community, if you have, no matter how much money you have, you can buy and get away with anything. And that's where we need to understand that it can't be about money. Money can't cover up the things that are being done wrongly to folks. Like, if you are a business person and you are strategic and you can make moves, it doesn't have to always be done in blood. It doesn't always have to be done in murder. Do things the right way.
But why you say murder? Who murdered somebody?
Some money, you gonna
she believe anything that's sold.
Who's murdered somebody? Who murdered?
I'm just saying in blood. Like, when I meant in blood, I'm talking about you're doing things the wrong way. Just like, you know how Diddy got rich? This is how I believe Diddy got rich. When he went to Clive Davis and he went and sold his soul to Clive Davis, all of a sudden he got those $1 million, right? Remember when the Bad Boys were kind of like, they were struggling, and he went to Clive and he got that 1.2 million.
Clive went to him.
I think that's when he sold out. He sold his soul. And if you're gonna dance with the devil, you're gonna do devilish stuff.
But why do you think he went to Clive? Why do you?
Let me ask you a question.
His soul isn't on trial.
It's not about his soul. It's about him being a representation of our community.
Is this your first
time?
And
if we keep glorifying these type of men,
this your first time here?
We're always going to be in the same type of turmoil year after year, season after season. We need to hold people who are supposed to be leaders in our community or represent Black excellence. That's not Black.
Patrice, is this your first time here?
Yes.
You only listen to gospel music?
I do. I'm a Christian, but I haven't always been a Christian. I was in the world.
No. I said, do you only listen to gospel music?
I only listen to godly music, actually, gospel music. I don't even. You
only listen to godly music,
which is a godly music is something different than gospel. I'm not no Kirk Franklin supporter. I don't believe every gospel artist lives righteously and loves God. I think it's an industry. I think it's a money business. I think they're there to make money. So I'm very selective with who I listen to when it comes to putting things into my spirit. I've never been a fan.
Let me ask you a question. So you don't listen to no R&B, no nothing?
I like R&B music. I don't listen to it as much as I used to, but I do like some R&B music. Yeah.
Are you married?
I'm not married. I'm single.
So I just the only reason I asked that is because I want to know what I'm getting myself into in these conversations. All right.
So, Patrice, I have a question.
Yes.
I hear all that you said, but as far as holding him up as, hey, he needs to operate differently because he represents people. This is the problem with the community in general. He doesn't represent me. Why are we taking cues from him? He just has money. That's it.
Right.
No,
but
people. No, hold on. People, if you wanted him to do better, here's the thing: not take the bag. Don't just because I want this to happen. I have dreams. Do all this. I'm gonna forget all the stuff that I know comes with the industry. I'm just gonna go with it, and whatever happens, happens. If people decided, hey, I'm not gonna sell out, because really the people who are selling out are the people who now coming out and saying X, Y, and Z happened. If you got your money, you wouldn't be talking about all this stuff.
But Andrew, the thing about it, we are adults here, but you have a whole youth, a generation that don't have our mindset, that do look up to these people as leading examples, or as mentors, or
and that's
as
our fault as adults. Your
right,
child never idolize someone they don't know.
We got to teach our children that, though, right?
Well, that's why his mother and his father, or his mother primarily, she gave him the best. She sent him to the best schools. She took extra jobs to get him an excellent education. That's why he had the ego that he has. My father used to say, you got to raise falcons. You have to raise people to think that they're better than anybody else. That's why he held himself like that, because he was raised like that. He wasn't raised like most. Wait, hang on. He wasn't raised to like most black families say, you just as good as anybody else. That's how black people raise their kids. You just as good as anybody else. That's telling the kid that they're not. So you have to tell them, like my parents told me, you're above that. You're above that. So you hold yourself above that. And I
do agree with Shampoo with that. I do agree with that. But I also think in the documentary, I'm just speaking with in the documentary, he took the business from his mentor.
Yes.
Like his mentor raised him, and it was like, fuck what you said, mentor. I'm gonna take this shit from you. Like
Andre didn't like that. Andre Rose didn't like that.
It. So it matters. I think that he has riches and fame, but I think it matters the way that he got to the riches and fame. There's definitely people in the hip hop industry that are rich and they earn it in certain type of way that didn't with shady business.
Like who?
Like Nas. Nas is a billionaire, and he didn't do all of that.
Well, first of all, you don't know Nas's net worth, and you don't know what.
I don't know, but I do know that he came as a hip hop mogul, and it's now a successful businessman. I don't know what his network is, but ain't nobody talking about bad about Nas.
Jay-Z. I think you mean Jay-Z.
I think it's a way of how you earn that fame.
It does. It matters. And I think what Shampoo was saying about how he was raised with his mother giving him the confidence to, that he's the greatest. I think it was opposite. I think he was lacking because he didn't have a male in his life to tell him how to.
He did have a male in his life.
No, who? Andre? You're talking about Andre Harrell, whatever his name is? That gentleman?
Well, listen, he had a father.
Birds of a feather flock together. Why they became so close? You don't think they was doing cricket stuff together? Man.
Who?
Yo, this is crazy.
Let me ask you something.
This is crazy.
Let me ask the religious young lady. Do you think Cassie has any blame in this situation for getting her ass kicked? Do you think she has any blame for that?
I do. I think Cassie has an accountability. Let me say something about Cassie. I think she accepted, she said, I'm going to put up with what I put up with because she wanted the lifestyle. But what does that make it right? No. She was also 19 going into very naive at 19 going into a situation. Oftentimes, younger, that's what I'm talking about. When you're young, you're blinded. You don't have the mindset of a wise adult.
19.
She was with an old man before him. She was with an old man for him.
Mhm.
She knew exactly what she was doing. She was with an
I'm
older
not
man.
saying
who
she
was older than
didn't.
her,
I'm
but
And she
saying
also
that
has
she
parents.
accepted the consequences of her choice. I remember being in a
And
relationship
made $70 million.
and saying,
Ain't
"Oh,
that
I
money?
get what I get from it because
Facts.
I wanted it."
Wait. Hold on for a second. What consequences did she get?
She accepted the consequences of being drugged or taking drugs.
What consequences? Well, this is what I'm asking. What consequences did Cassie face?
None.
She faced not having peace. Like, can you imagine going home to being beat up every day, to being drugged every day?
Wait,
Oh
you
my
wouldn't
God.
get beat up for $70 million?
I would take a beating every day, Shampoo. I
I'll
would take
get
a
in the
beating from
ring
you.
with Deontay for $70 million.
A black eye and all that shit.
No,
Give it
you
to
ain't
me.
about to
Give it
drag me. You get money. That's the problem. Money.
And you going to
Money's the root.
Aruba.
The love of money is the root to
on
all
a
evil.
private
Heck no.
plane.
Man, I'll get in the ring with Floyd Mayweather right now.
Nah, that's
So,
what you
yeah.
guys are selling out.
Mike.
That's a sellout.
Sure,
If
you
you gonna do
said
anything
she
for money, you
signed up.
selling out.
Are you saying she signed up to be a freak, but she didn't sign up to get beat, pretty much?
I didn't think she didn't realize how great the consequences were going to be.
Yes, I think that's what you were trying to say. It's like when you sign up for something, they don't have to tell you in its full entirety what they expect to do to you, but you should be mature and intelligent enough to say, well, if it's not up for, what am I really getting into? You have
Right.
to
Was she not capable of the same violence? Do we not remember how she threatened that person and they had it on the trial? She was capable of the same violence.
You talking about that man that impregnated her?
She threatened somebody. She threatened somebody with death. She
And
said
they
she
had it on
threatened to
recording.
kill somebody.
They had it on recording. So
Is this when she was with Diddy?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's who Rebecca's talking about. The man that was like, I guess, the favorite partner of the freak offs who would have sex with her very often. It was like their favorite freak off, but
he threatened to leak. He threatened to leak something, and and she threatened that man with violence, and so we don't know how much. And I'm not blaming women. I'm not one of those people, but we don't know how much she antagonized. She started the physical fights. We don't know any of that. We just saw the outcome.
Do you guys know that when you're in a relationship with somebody, you start acting and becoming?
Mike, y'all.
You really think that all that elevator scene was for nothing? Like you think you don't know what happened in that scene. You don't know what happened before that.
You don't run down the hallway butt ass naked to beat her up.
Yeah, but do you know that she was trying to take his clothes out in that bag? That's what happened.
Call the police. You know what I think? When a man is in a situation where a woman is taking things too far and it gets to the point where you have to physically stop, you can't do that.
I've never been.
So let me ask you a question.
I'm going to say this, you guys. I've never been in a domestic
is.
violence situation when it comes to a relationship between a man and a woman. So I don't know what type of stronghold that is. We can say all day long, get away. Why didn't you leave? I don't know.
No. Hold on, wait a second. And then the chat noticed too. That's what the word on the street is that she had 50,000 of his money.